Welcome back to America Decides. Well, the numbers are in and Tesla sales are down. Its stock price also down. And it appears the Elon Musk electric vehicle company has lost at least one previously satisfied customer in the United States Senate.
Every time I get in this car in the last 60 days or so, it reminds me of just how much damage Elon Musk and Donald Trump is doing to our country. So I think it's time for an upgrade today. So this is going to be my last trip in this car.
I want to bring in our political panel. Kevin Sheridan was former spokesperson for the Republican National Committee and a former senior advisor to Mitt Romney's 2012 presidential campaign. Chuck Rocha, you know him and love him, senior advisor on Senator Bernie Sanders' 2016 and 2020 presidential campaign. So we'll get to the octagon match that's trying to be set up between Mark Kelly and Elon Musk in a second. But Chuck, I just want you to diagram or at least discuss the last 2 weeks for Democrats on Capitol Hill. Last Tuesday, even by their own admission, disorganized, disarray, resistance to Trump. This week, a completely expected cave-in on the government funding bill and averting a government shutdown. What is your assessment about Democrats tactically and rhetorically on Capitol Hill these last 2 weeks?
I think that when you're fighting all kinds of fights all at the same time and you don't have a leader, which is really key here, when you don't have one centerpiece that you can follow that says this is the one direction, you have something that looks like your hand and every finger's fighting a different war. When you need your hand to be like this, if you're actually going to punch through the wall, because if you hit a wall like this, you're going to break your wrist. And Democrats need to come together behind one person, which is hard because we don't have a president. We don't have a majority in the House or the Senate. So I think there's a lot of Democrats doing a lot of good things, but it does look unorganized to the outside groups because out there they're fighting all different directions when they should be fighting one thing. And then you have Donald Trump with this megaphone who's out there kind of rolling roughshod over everything, not to mention Elon Musk.
Kevin, I rarely throw you an underhanded softball pitch as I'm going to now.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, he had a bad hand and he played it badly. And that's
Schumer.
Schumer. He should not have got himself into that position.
Suggesting for a moment yesterday that he was going to fight on this and Senate Democrats were going to stand tall.
It was so bad, terribly played. He could have, extracted some sort of request from House leadership from the Republicans, but he didn't even try to do that. He didn't even get as
and
far
it doesn't
as,
appear he was well coordinated with House Democratic leaders.
They're not coordinated at all. He's got AOC breathing down his neck in New York. He's got Hakeem Jeffries not even endorsing him to stay in his job as leader. So, yeah, he's in a bad place. Democrats, it's indicative of where Democrats generally are right now.
All right,
they just don't have a message.
Yeah, that's a problem for Democrats. But I want to talk to you about something that I think should be problematic for any Republican who is generally inclined to support what Elon Musk is doing, because he continues to do and say things on social media that are not defensible. He reposted something that said Stalin, Mao, and Hitler didn't murder millions of people. Their public sector workers did. Kevin, what is that about?
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't seen that.
I mean, come on. That is not only ahistorical, it takes out the agency of people who were, by their own words and deeds, setting all these murderous things in motion in pursuit of an ideological end.
Yeah, and he'll tweet something out or X something out that'll cover that up by in 2 hours. He's on X all day. I don't know how he has time to do it all and run 6 companies and do Doge. But yeah, it's
harmful. It's ridiculous. And do you think at any point, Elon Musk becomes a liability, either for Trump specifically or Republicans generally?
He hasn't yet.
Possibility?
There's always the possibility that Trump will tire of him, but right now I think he's doing a pretty good job of identifying waste, fraud, and abuse. He's exposing it to the Congress and to the American people. His Tesla stock has taken a big hit.
Huge.
So he may,
down 48%.
He may have to go back to that.
Since December 17th, down 48%.
Might be a good time to buy some Tesla stock, honestly.
Chuck, what do you think?
And I'll take that softball, throw it right over here, Major. I got it right here. I'll answer that question. It's doing horrible. The stock is doing horrible. And let me tell you one thing, even an old Mexican redneck from East Texas knows this. You know who buys a lot of Teslas? college-educated white people. You know, the one group Democrats did really good with in the last election was college-educated white people in the suburbs who loved their electric cars. And now, just like the senator, I'm never going to say anything bad about the senator, he could drive a space shuttle, for God's sakes. He's done with this group. So when you go after this group, that's why you're seeing that. And then to tie it to the tweet, not to get too dramatic, then you start seeing why the Tesla stock has dropped in every other country in America. Hello, Germany. Why are you not selling as many Teslas? Because the old boy's over here talking about it wasn't really the Nazis who killed all the Jewish people.
Kevin.
Look, he's had a lot of the criticism on that subject was, with the salute supposedly, was just completely ridiculous and unfair. I haven't seen that tweet. That's the first since you should.
There you go.
Since you read it.
Take a look at it.
I'd have to know what kind of context he's even going for.
There's no context for that, Kevin.
I have no idea. I'm not going to defend it or explain it, but look, he's one of a kind. He bought the platform. He's saved free speech, and he's doing a lot of other things at
I want
the
to
same
ask
time.
you, before we have to go, and you get 30 seconds, and Chuck gets 30 seconds. All right, these government shutdowns averted. The next big thing for Republicans is tax cuts and spending cuts. What's your sense?
Yeah, they've got to get the big, beautiful bill going, and they've got to get it going quickly. This buys them time. Government will not shut down. I think they will come together on the tax provisions that he's talked about, extending his middle-class tax cuts for the American people. That will signal to the markets that stability's coming and predictability.
Chuck, you heard
coming.
it. Stability's coming from Kevin Sheridan.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's coming. No more town halls in person. That's what's coming because the American people have anxiety and they're worried about this and they're mad. And they're really mad that 7,000 veterans have been fired.
Those aren't organic.
You just wait. You just wait. Organic or not, this does not play well for Republicans.
Those are
Thus concludes
AstroTurf.
this Friday episode of Softball with Kevin Sheridan and Chuck Rocha. Thank you, gentlemen, both very much.
Have a great weekend.